What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode. So, we are doing another mic'd up workout for you. So, as you can see, I am in my garage gym, and today is chest day. So, following along from the last one, if you haven't watched that one, I've already done my warm up, gotten my shoulders warmed up. I honestly do pretty much the exact same mobility exercises that I did in that first mic'd up video for the leg day. So if you haven't seen that one, go back and check that out if you're curious as to what my warm up looks like before I actually start lifting. But we are doing chest today, following along the same lines of rep ranges, feeling out the sets. So again, slowly working into this because I'm not used to doing those higher rep ranges. I'm not going to be loading a lot of weight on there. It's going to be like a single plate on each side, so nothing too exciting in terms of weight. However, because I'm doing higher reps, I'm also trying to slow down my movements a little bit more and really getting a little bit more time under tension as opposed to just kind of exploding through the whole movement. I want to feel it. I really want to build that physique that I have in my mind and that I know I can achieve. So taking a much more bodybuilder style approach now, as opposed to, I was definitely training a lot more along the lines of powerlifting. Not necessarily, it was more of like a power building, but now I intend on just focusing on that bodybuilding part of my training. So this is a whole new phase. But yeah, really looking for that hypertrophy and that muscle gain. So that is why I'm switching up the rep ranges. So first thing I'm going to be starting with today is the barbell incline press. So really want to build that upper pec. Definitely one of my weaker points. And because I have always had issues with my shoulders and struggling with that, I've always kind of favored just flat bench. And decline bench as well is very easy for me compared to incline. So my shoulders have been very healthy. My elbows still been giving me some issues, but we're working through that. So I'm hoping that by doing these lighter lighter sets and higher rep ranges, that might also help to just kind of alleviate some pain from that, because as I get heavier and heavier and heavier with my weights, it's definitely taking a toll. So it's time to transition, but hopefully you enjoy this video, and I will see you for my first working set. It's still chilly in here. It was a nice day, but it's still chilly in the garage. Everything's very cold, so I'm going to have the hood on so that I don't freeze my bald head. But I always like to do a nice set of just the bar and just really stretching it out, feeling things out, see how we're doing. Feels good so far. So it felt good. So threw a 45 on each side. So working with 135 right now. Again, the plan is 12 to 15 reps. We'll see how it goes. Because this is my first chest workout, switching my rep ranges, I might stick to the 12. We'll see. I don't want to be too sore. Even after my leg day, the weights were so light. I didn't do high volume, but my legs are so tense. So even dialing back as much as I did, my body took a beating from that one. So I don't like being extremely sore after my workouts. It's not a good indicator of an effective workout. So that tells me I pushed it too hard. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more mindful in this chest one. That being said, it's always harder for chest for me because I get that pump going and then I just want to keep going and keep fueling that. And chest is just, it's a lot less exhausting than legs, right? So to be able to push through that pump and that burn and that pain is a little bit easier on upper body days for me than lower body days. Especially chest is definitely a lot easier than even like back. But we'll get into set number 1 with 135. Set number 1 done. Feeling pretty good. We shall see how we hold up. Set 1's always the easiest, but even that, like just getting that nice stretch, slowing down the motion, feels pretty darn good right now. So we'll see you for set number 2. All right, time for set number 2. So I didn't increase my weight at all. We're just going to rep it out. Get that feeling going. Set number 2 is done. That felt pretty good. 15 reps, nailed it. I'm not going to increase my weight for set number 3. Because even that, it felt like a good amount of weight right now. Getting a nice stretch, feeling that contraction at the top. And then as well, after this, I got a little secret set going on. So, or not secret set, but just like a variation of this exercise that I like to incorporate as well. And then I'm going to superset that. So we will see how that goes. Again, lightening up the weight a lot, just because I don't want to be crippled tomorrow. So yeah, I will see you for set number 3. All right, set number 3 for just your typical incline barbell bench. Whew. That set felt great. So now I'm going to adjust things a little bit, and I'll show you what I'm doing next. Okay, so for this next exercise, like I said, it's going to be a superset. So what I'm going to be supersetting is, I love doing this. So I'm doing just incline bench still have the 45s on each side. I'm going for 8 reps on this one, but because I'm supersetting it, that's why I'm cutting it at 8. And what we're doing is we're doing an incline bench, but we are going to stop it on the pins. So it's going to come to a dead stop, and then we're going to press, bring it back down, dead stop, and then a press. And then we're supersetting that with a reverse grip. So instead of having hands over, it's going to be like an underhand grip. And we're going to rep it out that way. I'm going to just adjust my angle here so that you can see the full press from the top. All right, so set number 1. So as you can see, or maybe you can't see, but it is essentially, the bar is about 1/2 inch. So the way that my safety bars line up, it keeps it about 1/2 inch, maybe an inch off of my chest when I do this exercise. So I'm almost still getting that complete full range of motion, other than that 1/2 inch to an inch. So I still get a nice stretch, but now it's a dead stop. So no momentum, no bouncing, no potential for cheating. It's just going to be a very strict incline press. So all right, so there's 8 reps done. Now we're switching the grip. So here we go, and we're hitting another 8 reps. And 8 reps done. So that is the superset. Gonna aim for the same thing. Extremely fatiguing. I was feeling that a lot near the end. Those reverse presses are not easy, but I'm gonna stick to the same weight. I'm gonna go again, 8 and 8. I might cut this short, only do 2 sets, because I also want to incorporate some flies. And I don't want my chest to be completely toast. And then along with the chest, I'm going to be doing chest and triceps. So I also have some triceps to get through. But this one as well, if you're doing this properly and really feeling it out, lights up those triceps too. So I love incorporating this exercise on this chest and tricep day, because it's kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. If you can't do the reverse grip, You could also just do a close grip bench to engage those triceps as well. Hit that chest. And I'm doing it on the incline because, again, we're looking to build that upper chest and really focus on that and build that shelf to give it that pop. So that is the goal right now. But I'm going to grab some water and I will see you for the next set. All right, on to set number 2, or numéro 2, as they say in French. Let's get this party started. That was tough. So that is it for this superset. I'm going to stop it there because I was burning out. The chest is feeling good. We're going to hit some flies now. So I'll show you how I do those in my garage gym. It's pretty simple, but yeah, so far so good. Don't feel like throwing up, so it's always a win. So it is actually warm enough in here to the point where I can actually wear a t-shirt and I'm not freezing. This is exciting. But so I'll show you. So I just have a resistance band, just a looped resistance band that I use for my flies. I have a few different sets. This red one being the lightest one. So that is the one I'm using today because, again, we're going for 12 to 15 reps. And I'll just strap it around my squat rack. Try to make sure I feel the resistance evenly in both arms. Ooh. 15 reps, nice and controlled. When I am in that concentric phase, so when I'm squeezing in, I am squeezing my chest as hard as I possibly can. And man, it does not take much. I honestly feel like I could work my chest effectively just contracting. So adding that nice resistance band to it feels fantastic. That is set number 1. We're gonna go hit 3. We're gonna hit 3 sets of that. We'll move on to a little bit of triceps. And then I got just some cardio. Call it a day on this one. Here we go. Set number 2. Set number 2 is done. Oh, only got 12 on that one. That was intense. One tip that I will share that I can admit I do not follow well is if you can handle less weight but control it and really increase the quality of each repetition and focus on that mind-muscle connection and feeling what you're supposed to feel. So if you're hitting chest, you want to be feeling like you're actually hitting your chest. You don't want to be feeling like your delts are taking the big beating. You don't want to feel like your tricep is taking that big beating. You want to mainly feel that in your chest. So focus on quality over quantity. So I sometimes get into that phase where I'm like, oh, I just want to see how much I can press, especially when I'm getting close to my goals in terms of like a specific weight I want to hit. So for example, like at the beginning of this year, we did a podcast where we talked about our goals in the gym for 2023. So my goal for deadlift was hitting 500. My goal for squat, hitting 500. My goal for bench, I think, was hitting like 365 or 375. Those were like my goals for this year. I've hit a 505 deadlift. So I'm very happy about that. I was getting very close on my squat. So I think I had worked up to it's like a 455, 465 squat. And then my bench, I think the most I've actually hit is 335, maybe 345. I've attempted 355 a couple times and failed every single time. But coming so close, so like having that like goal right there it was making it very hard for me to switch my rep range, because I was like, oh, I want to stick with the low repetitions and feel like I'm not potentially going to regress or like fall back and not be able to do the kind of weight I was doing before. But as well, you know, were those quality repetitions? Probably not. Were they optimal sets even? Probably not. So was that training ideal? Was it really getting me closer to my goal? Probably not. Probably did more harm than it was actually doing good, because then I was just going all out, trying to hit those like 1 rep maxes every single workout. Like I would do my sets of like 5x5 once in a while. I would do sets of 3 repetitions, but then I always ended up going back to heavy singles and then adding in volume after that. And my joints started taking a beating. And then now here I am trying to nurse those little boo-boos that I was getting from training so all out, instead of just changing my rep range, where, you know, just because I'm doing higher repetitions doesn't necessarily mean that I'm lifting less. My total lifting volume might stay the same. So I'm doing, you know, 135, but I'm also doing 12 to 15 reps. Whereas I was doing 335, but I was only doing a single. So volume probably would have stayed pretty similar. Whereas now I feel like I really need to dial it back. Ended up getting sick. That could have been due to my poor training program as well. So these are all things you need to keep in mind. But I've rested way too long. So we're going to get into set number 3. Set number 3 is done. Those felt awesome. Honestly, I feel like I've been neglecting flies a little bit. Going to the gym, I kept just doing the like machine fly, the fly machine. Wow. Or like the pec deck is what I always refer to it as. And I haven't been doing as much like free weight or like banded or even cables. So hitting these banded, I found, I don't know if it's just the angle or what, because I'm able to adjust it a little bit more freely to my personal preference. Hitting those felt so good. But now we're going to move on to a little bit of tricep action. So for this one, what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with body weight dips. See how those feel. Because I've been having some issues with my elbow, I don't want to push it on that one. So we'll see what kind of rep range I do, how many sets I do, depending on how those really feel. Because I don't want to make any injuries or little boo-boos any worse. So we're just doing some body weight bench dips is all I'm doing. So here we go. Like I said, I don't know what rep range I'm going to be doing or how many sets. Just going to kind of feel it out, see how my elbow is doing, make sure my shoulders aren't picking up a bunch of the load. I want to really isolate my tricep as best as I possibly can. So here we go. Ooh. That set actually felt really nice. Also kind of opened up my chest a little bit, so I had a nice stretch in there. Felt those triceps firing. The goal for me right now is I want to start leaning down a little bit. So currently 245 to 250 in terms of weight. So 245, 250 pounds. Definitely holding on a lot of body fat, especially in the midsection. So the goal is to slowly start to lean down, try to keep my strength up as much as I possibly can. I don't want to go too aggressive on the cut because then that is going to potentially affect recovery, strength, and I don't want to lose everything that I've built so far. Yeah, and then as well, because right now, being as heavy as I am, not that this is the reason why, like weight is not the reason why, but because I put on so much weight and I wasn't really training optimally. Like when I put on a lot of this weight, I was really stressed out, really depressed, and I put it on in a very unhealthy way. My workouts weren't consistent. There was actually a good long stretch of like 6 months where I didn't work out at all. And I've just packed on a ton of weight. And when I even got back into it, because I gained so much weight from being so unhealthy and so inactive, that I like pull-ups, chin-ups, push-ups, dips, any body weight exercises were so hard on my joints. So the goal is to slowly incorporate those back in. Push-ups, I can do pretty well now without any real issues. But dips, pull-ups, depending on the day, things like that, like those are a little bit painful. So I'd like to get back into that because at one point I was pretty into calisthenics and I was able to do some pretty cool stuff. And I'd eventually like to get back into that. So that is kind of just a little overview of my goals, but here we go to set number 2. Yep. Another good set. So I'm going to hit one more set of that because they're feeling very good actually. So I'm going to ride that out. Do one more set, and then we're going to do a tricep extension with some bands again. Fire off the triceps a little bit more. And then cardio, and we done. All right, last set. All right, so last exercise for me, it's going to be the tricep extensions or tricep push down, whatever you want to call them. Swear, those get me every time. All right, so 3 sets, cutting my own head off. 3 sets of this, again, 12 to 15 reps. After that set, it's going to be 12 reps. There's no way I'm getting 15. Even 12 might be a stretch, but we will see. Try to get a little different angle for you guys. I don't know if this is really any better, but quite the shadow. It's getting harder and harder to flex them. All right, last set, and then the resistance training portion is complete. Okay, that is it for this workout. That is it for the workout. Hopefully you enjoyed this mic'd up chest and tricep workout. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe. I'm gonna do 20 minutes on the treadmill, just like I did in the last mic'd up video. So this is how I've been trying to end most of my workouts. It's just because I'm already at the gym. I can say that I'm gonna, come back out and do 20 minutes later, just to separate them. But in all honesty, I'm not going to. Like, I know myself, and if I leave it up to that, I'm gonna get lazy and I'm not gonna end up getting it done. So I like to just jump on the treadmill, walk for 20 minutes. It's nothing high intensity. It's very low intensity, steady state, high incline. And I'm just getting some steps in, just getting some activity in there, some daily movement. So it's nothing crazy, but that is just how I like to program it in there. So I'm going to do 20 minutes on the treadmill again. But until next time, peace.